You pull into a drive-thru, order one normal meal, and the total is $18. Not a steak, not a fancy restaurant, not a delivery app with extra fees. Just a burger, fries, and a drink. And at that point, most people think the same thing. Wasn't this supposed to be the cheap option? That is the real story here. Fast food did not just get more expensive, it changed categories. It used to be cheap food sold fast. Now it is increasingly convenient sold at food prices. And once you see that shift, the $18 meal stops feeling random. It starts feeling inevitable. For a long time, the deal was simple. Fast food was not supposed to be special. It was supposed to be predictable, quick, and cheap. That was the promise. If you were on a lunch break, you could grab something fast. If you were a tired parent, you could solve dinner with very little effort. If you were a teenager, you could actually afford it. If you were on a road trip, it was the easy default. That low price was not an accident. It was the engine. The menu was simpler, the ingredients were standardized, the stores moved huge volume, and the whole business was built around doing the same thing over and over again as efficiently as possible. That is how you keep prices low. But that old version of fast food depended on a different world, and that world has mostly disappeared. The obvious explanation is inflation, and yes, inflation matters. The beef costs more, the chicken costs more, the potatoes costs more, the buns, sauces, cups, napkins, boxes, bags, cooking oil, electricity, cleaning supplies, and equipment all cost more too. That part is real. But people often imagine they are paying for ingredients. They are not. They are paying for a system. A fast food restaurant has to keep food cold, cook it quickly, light the building, clean the building, maintain the machines, staff the shifts, and stay ready before you even arrive. From the customer side, it feels simple. From the business side, it is a machine with costs running all day. So yes, the meal got more expensive because the world around it got more expensive. But that still does not explain why it feels so wrong. Because the bigger change is not just that costs went up. The bigger change is that fast food companies realized they could charge more than people used to expect. And this is where the story shifts. Fast food used to compete mostly on price. Now it competes on convenience. That sounds small, but it changes everything. If a company is trying to be the cheapest option, it asks, how low can we keep the price? If a company is trying to sell convenience, it asks, how much will people pay to avoid effort? That is a completely different question. And for a lot of people, the real alternative to fast food is not another burger chain. It is planning dinner, going to the shop, cooking, cleaning, waiting, thinking. Fast food sits in the gap between hunger and effort. Once businesses understand that, the food itself matters less than the friction it removes. So the price is no longer built only around the cost of the meal. It is built around the value of making your life easier for the next 15 minutes. That is why the same burger feels different now. You are not just paying for food. You are paying to skip effort. Location is a big part of this too. Fast food only works if it is where people already are. Busy roads, shopping areas, near schools, near offices, near petrol stations, near highway exits. Those spots are valuable because they capture rushed people. But valuable locations are expensive, and when rent goes up, the menu has to carry more of the burden. Then there is labor. Fast food sounds cheap until you think about what the store actually needs. People to prep, people to cook, people to take orders, people to hand off food, people to clean, people to manage the drive-thru, people to deal with app pickups and delivery orders. And the hardest part is that demand comes in waves. A restaurant cannot run only for the quiet moments. It has to be ready for the rush. That means the business is often paying to be prepared, not just paying to serve the exact customer standing there. So when you buy one meal, you are helping fund a whole operation built around speed and availability. In other words, you are paying for the fact that the food is ready before you need it. There is another reason this changed. Fast food stopped being simple. The old model was operationally clean. A tighter menu meant faster service. Faster service meant lower labor per order. Lower labor per order meant lower prices. But over time, menus got bigger and messier. Limited time items, premium burgers, different combo structures, breakfast items, late-night items, app exclusives, customizations, extra sauces, no pickles, different drinks, add-ons, swaps, special deals that only apply in certain ways. Customers got more choice, but the business got more complexity, and complexity is expensive. It slows things down, it makes training harder, it creates more mistakes, it increases waste, it makes the kitchen less efficient. This is one of the quiet contradictions of modern convenience. People want food faster than ever, but they also want it more personalized than ever. Those two things do not fit together very well. The more flexible the order becomes, the less efficient the system becomes. And when efficiency drops, prices rise. So part of what you are paying for is not just the burger. You are paying for a system that became harder to run. Then apps changed the game again. This is a huge part of why modern fast food feels confusing. You can now have one price on the board, another deal in the app, a rewards offer for one customer, and a completely different margin on delivery. That is not accidental. Fast food used to be closer to mass pricing. Now it is closer to strategic pricing. Some people get pulled in with offers. Some people pay full price. Some people are trained to use rewards. Some people order in a hurry and do not compare anything. The system is no longer asking, what is the fair price for this meal? It is asking, what can we charge different kinds of customers without losing them? That is why modern fast food can feel weirdly inconsistent. Sometimes the app makes it look cheap. Sometimes the board makes it look absurd. Sometimes a combo looks reasonable only because the individual items are priced to make the combo feel like a deal. The menu is not just a food list anymore. It is a pricing strategy. And once the business starts thinking like that, the old idea of simple cheap fast food starts disappearing. This is also why value feels harder to judge now, because the companies know they cannot just raise prices and say nothing. They still need the customer to feel like there is a deal somewhere. So they build the illusion of value back into the menu. Bundles, points, limited offers, 2-for-1 deals, app-only discounts, cheap entry items next to expensive premium items. That is how they preserve the feeling even when the baseline price has moved. Maybe the burger alone looks overpriced, but the combo makes it feel more acceptable. Maybe the app coupon makes you feel smart. Maybe the expensive premium meal makes the normal combo feel less offensive. This is classic price anchoring. The menu is guiding your emotions as much as your choices. And that matters because fast food is not a category where people want to feel ripped off. The whole emotional deal was always built around getting something quick without thinking too much about it. The moment the price makes you stop and think, the magic breaks. That is why this hits people so strongly. It is not just the number, it is the mismatch. Fast food still feels cheap, but it often no longer is. You are still under fluorescent lights, still holding a paper bag, still eating quickly, still getting a disposable experience. Nothing about the experience feels premium. So when the total starts creeping toward cafe prices, casual restaurant prices, or even grocery comparison territory, it creates a strange kind of irritation. If you pay more at a proper restaurant, at least the experience usually signals why. You sat down, someone served you. The place felt intentional. With fast food, the experience still looks like the budget version. Only the price changed. And that is why people react so emotionally to it. They are not just responding to inflation, they are responding to the collapse of an old expectation. Cheap was part of fast food's identity. Take that away, and people start questioning the entire category. And that is dangerous for the business. Because once the low price advantage weakens, customers start comparing differently. They look at the receipt and think, for this price, I could have bought groceries. Or, for a little more, I could have gotten something better. That is a problem, because fast food was never meant to win on health. It was never meant to win on quality. It was never meant to win on atmosphere. It was meant to win on speed and price. If price stops feeling like a strength, then speed has to do almost all the work. And speed alone is not always enough, especially when people become more deliberate. Maybe they skip the drink. Maybe they skip delivery. Maybe they stop treating fast food as a default option. Maybe it becomes something they only buy when they are especially tired or rushed. That is the risk. A business category built around budget expectations is trying to earn convenience-level margins. That tension is not going away. In a strange way, fast food has become more like a convenience store than people realize. Yes, you are buying food, but the deeper product is access. Access to a fast solution. Access to a familiar taste. Access to something that requires almost no planning. Access to relief. That is what people are really paying for now. Not just calories, not just flavor, relief. And relief is valuable. If you have had a long day, if you are driving, if you have kids in the back, if you do not want dishes, if you are already mentally tired, then the cheapness matters less than the fact that the decision is over. That is what fast food companies understand. They are no longer just selling the cheapest meal, they are selling the removal of friction. And that makes the pricing look different, because friction removal can support higher prices than cheap food ever could. So when people say fast food feels like a luxury now, they do not mean it feels luxurious. They mean the price feels detached from what the experience used to represent. That is the difference. Luxury used to mean better quality, better service, better atmosphere. Now sometimes it just means paying more than your brain thinks the product deserves. And that is why a burger, fries, and a drink can feel so ridiculous. You are looking at an ordinary meal with an old identity and a new pricing model. The brand still speaks the language of value, but the business increasingly speaks the language of convenience, segmentation, and margin. That is why the experience feels off. The food did not suddenly become special, the system around it changed. So the next time a simple fast food meal feels absurdly expensive, you are not imagining it. Yes, costs rose. Yes, labor is harder. Yes, rent matters. Yes, menus got more complicated. But the deepest shift is simpler than all of that. Fast food stopped asking, how do we stay the cheap option? And started asking, how much is convenience worth to a tired person right now? That is the question behind the receipt. And once that became the real question, the old promise started to disappear. Fast food used to be cheap food delivered quickly. Now it is convenience priced through food, and that is why it no longer feels cheap at all.